Oh yeah, look at that. Do you see that? So far it looks good. Oh, I like the layer of peanut butter cookie and the chocolate brownie. Oh, come on. I think this is gonna taste like a peanut butter cup. Oh yeah. This is definitely good. Hey, hi, I'm Amy Roloff. So thank you for coming back to my little kitchen. I am going to probably make something that I have tried to make, try to perfect, and it's brownies. And so I had one recipe that I really liked, but for the life of me, I cannot find it in my email or in my little recipe folder or any of that. So it is so frustrating. What is it about brownies that if you took a survey, people would like chewy or they would like more cake? Chewy fudgy or maybe cakey something or else. I don't know. I sometimes like the brownie that's a little bit more cake. You know how like in the grocery stores you get the brownies with the chocolate frosting, you know, on it a little bit, or the ganache. I really like that sometimes. I think sometimes the Texas sheet cake that you make, which is really, you know, chocolatey and it's got the frosting on it. So anyway, I don't know, brownies just seem to be my nemesis, but then again, it's kind of like baking and I never get it right. So I am, for me, taking on a big task here, because what goes great with brownies or chocolate? Why not peanut butter? And I wanted something that kind of gave you the taste of a brownie, like of a chewy brownie, and then you have the little peanut butter, like a peanut butter cookie, kind of blended in or mixed in or layered on top of it. So if you really like Reese's peanut butter cups, which I do and I don't, I think they're a little bit too sweet for me. So I thought this would be a great combination because I love peanut butter. I love peanut butter. Sometimes I like a creamy peanut butter, sometimes I like a crunchy peanut butter. It all, I guess, depends on what mood I'm in. So join me on this experience because I'm not sure any of this is gonna come out. I have looked online, 50 million different brownie recipes. There's a tweak here, there's a tweak here, you know, and I've read and I try to read up on, how should I say, the science of it. Obviously, well, it wasn't so obvious. It makes sense, but I just couldn't think about it. If you add more flour, you'll get more of a cakey brownie. If you take a little bit of flour, but add in an egg or an egg yolk, well, that'll create moisture and just kind of an emulsifier, bringing all the ingredients together. And sometimes the melted chocolate and how much chocolate do you put in, and oh, sugars play a whole different thing into it too. I am not going to sit here or stand here or be in my kitchen and tell you I know the answers, I know it all. I am not an expert on baking. I try and read up as much as I can, and I also just see what other people are doing in their recipes, and if I don't like this, I don't like this, I'll add this, or try and really think about what can I substitute for something. So anyway, let's just give this a shot. Let's just have fun in the kitchen, because however this turns out, how can you go wrong with doing chocolate and peanut butter? So woohoo, peanut butter. Oh, by the way, I am going to tell you, Chris is not going to like this because he does not like peanut butter. So why am I doing it then? Because I like it. So I might make him a small little batch of just chocolate peanut butter. So I might do that. I don't know. So anyway, let's get started. Oh yeah, I got to put an apron on. How can I forget that? And the one thing I did do ahead of time, I chopped up chocolate pieces already. I've got my eggs going here, 2 egg yolks. This is for the brownie stuff over here. The peanut butter cookie dough over here. I have, let me think, 1.5 cups of brown sugar, I think, here. 1 cup of sugar here, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of salt. I don't know, what is it? Maybe a tablespoon. Oh my gosh. Do not put a tablespoon of salt. I think a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I got 3 whole eggs. I have 8 ounces of chopped up chocolate pieces. I like these better sometimes if you really want a creamy melting chocolate. I chopped up a gosh, Amy, the flat piece of chocolate. Anyway, instead of using the chocolate chips already done, I just cut up 8 ounces of chocolate pieces here. I have 2.5 cups of flour here. I'm trying to memorize all this. And I think I have, let me see, I wrote my little notes down here. What do I have here? Oh yeah, I have a 1/2 cup of cocoa powder right here. And like I said, I already have my chocolate melted here. I like, if I'm going to use chocolate chips or anything like that, especially with like a chocolate bar or chocolate thing, I really need to get better lingo on that. It's not chocolate chips, it's just chocolate. I like using a double boiler system than just putting it in the microwave. I don't know, I've always had trouble with the microwave because it has a tendency, if I went a little bit too far or if I went a little less, it didn't quite melt. If I went a little too far, then I felt like the chocolate seizes up and then you can't really do anything with it. So anyway, I'm gonna turn this off, get my apron on, and let's get going on making a chocolate fudge brownie with peanut butter cookie. Let's see how it works. Okay, I think I got my act together. I hope. So, what are we gonna start with first? I went ahead and melted the butter in the microwave. That I did do in the microwave. Let me get a spatula here. Over in my drawer there. Okay, I'm gonna dump the butter in here. We're gonna go ahead and make the brownie mix first, because that'll go on the bottom of the baking pan. One thing not to have dried out brownies, from what I've learned and what I've read up on, more of the moisture and the flavorings over the flour will create that moisture and that fudgy and chewiness in it. So I'm gonna go in here and dump my sugars. Whoa, I think that came out a little too fast. I'm gonna break this up with a fork though, before I start whisking it. Sometimes I have found whisking it, especially in stuff like this, gets all caught up in the whisk. Okay, put that in there. You know what, I'm gonna get my little step stool because my counter is low, but when you put the big bowl up here, I feel like my arm is up here, so you may not be able to see me, but I'm gonna do this. Because this is gonna take some work. Like I said, why lift weights? Okay. See, look at that. I think I'm just gonna use a fork because it just gets all caught up in here. And I don't wanna leave all the goodness in the whisk. Or let's put it this way, I may not have a good whisk. Who knows? Okay, now I am going to go ahead. I want to make sure I get this in order for you from what I wrote down. Okay, we are going to whisk in the eggs. And whisking And you know what? You can really do this with a hand blender as well, this part of it. And it's probably what I should have done. You know what? I'm going to get my hand mixer because I think this process will go a little bit easier for me. If you guys feel a little bit more comfortable in whisking it up where you can incorporate the eggs and create that air and that fluffiness, go ahead. But I think I'm going to get my hand mixer. Hi, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you are enjoying it, and I would really appreciate it if you liked it and subscribe to it. And oh, don't forget to click that little bell up there and you'll be notified of future videos that are new and coming on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for that. And I would really appreciate it if you shared the video and let other people know and encourage them to subscribe and like the videos as well. So anyway, thank you, and back to the video. Okay, I have my hand mixer. This will be a little bit easier for me. And I think when you've got 3 eggs and some egg yolks, I really want to make sure that they're incorporated in this. So let's go. Okay, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to crack 3 eggs in here first because I don't have long enough fingers to crack an egg with one hand and mix at the same time. So how about I just start off with 2? Then I'm going to add the other whole egg because it takes 3 whole eggs, room temperature. Whoa. And I'm hoping these brownies are going to be a little chewy and fudgy. And I think with that nice peanut butter cookie on top of it will hopefully set right. And I'm going to add 2 egg yolks. Probably have them sitting for a while. So I'm gonna mix this up until it's kind of like nice and fluffy. Then I'm gonna incorporate, whoa, the vanilla, about a half a teaspoon, maybe. Teaspoon. No, yeah, it could be a teaspoon, but I'd go a half a teaspoon. Check on my recipe, sorry. Well, I guess I could check here. How much? What did I put here? I made notes on here. Yes, a half a teaspoon. Oh no, I want 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So let me add just a little bit more. And we're going to incorporate the chocolate. I'm going to get this all going. In fact, you know what? I'm going to let this cool a little bit. I thought I had the temperature off, but I think it's a little warm. And so if I add it in here, I don't want the egg and the egg yolks to kind of like halfway cook. So I'm gonna let this cool off for a minute. So we'll get back to making this. Oh dear. Okay, I'm gonna finish mixing in the vanilla here. And because I used a hand mixer, I'm just gonna gently pour in the melted chocolate here. And I used 60%. I didn't use semi-sweet. I used a bittersweet. So I think with the sugar and the brown sugar and the other sweetness, I think this will balance it out well. But if you want to go ahead and use semi-sweet, that's fine too. But I am going to make sure that all of this lusciousness gets into the mixing bowl. You guys don't know how many times I've experimented with things and I would take a bite of it and think, what was I thinking? Oh my goodness. Here, I'm gonna put this over here. Oh yeah, we're gonna add in a little bit of salt here while we're at it. Okay. Yeah, I added in 3 eggs and 2 egg yolks. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay. Whoa! I pressed the wrong button. Oh dear. I think chocolate might have gone all over the place. Oh gosh. I tell ya. It's fun being in the kitchen. Okay, I've got my flour here. And then I'm gonna mix in with the cocoa powder in it. Where is my fork? Oh, that fork's already used. Let's just do this a little bit. Like I said, we'll see how this turns out. Because let's put it this way. If this didn't turn out, you won't be seeing this video. You'll be seeing another video that goes, oh yeah, I made a video already, but I tasted it, it didn't turn out. So you're seeing the new version. Okay. I added in, right? Eggs, yeah, okay, here we go. Okay, this is where you do not want to use the mixer. You're just gonna gently fold this in because you do not want to over mix this. I'm just gonna add in half of it. Because I think if you over mix it, it'll become drier, cake-like, a little bit more. And if you just kind of incorporate the flour into this sugar chocolate mixture. Gonna add in the rest of it. What I may do is just take a little bit of this and make Chris his own separate. This is taking a while, but that's okay because you know what? Baking requires patience. And in order to create even more lusciousness, I'm gonna put in the semi-sweet chocolate pieces. They're not chocolate chips, they're just like baker's chocolate or what's the other one? Yeah, Ghirardelli Deli. I don't know, whatever. It's this one, baker's chocolate, this one, whatever good chocolate you can find. We're just gonna incorporate these chocolate pieces in here. The batter is a little stiff than I had thought. We're going to incorporate this, and this is going to create more helping the brownie become fudgy and chewy, because this will all melt within the batter. Okay, I hope this works, because if not, I used a lot of chocolate. And this is definitely going to be fudgy brownies. Okay, I think I'm done. We are going to get our pan here, and I'm going to put, if I were you, just because I'm making a little bite for Chris, I'm going to reserve a little bit of this, but if not, just put all of it. Boy, this bowl is heavy. Put all of the batter into a 9x13 pan if you want a little bit of thicker one, but it will require a little bit longer in baking because you have a lot more in a smaller container. And just spread it out. So it gets all into the edges. In fact, I'm noticing right now, I probably would put it in just a slightly smaller baking pan besides a 9x13, but we'll see how it goes. You're experiencing a trial and error right now. I'm just gonna put a little butter in this dish. Grease it up with a little butter. This will be Chris's own little special brownie stuff. You know, I try and think of, you know, everyone within my family. I have a lot of my family's members didn't like when I was baking and cooking for them, or when I bring it over to Zach and Tori's or Jeremy and Audrey's house. Or if Molly and Joel or Isabel and Jacob were here, I wouldn't put nuts in it if a lot of people didn't like nuts. In fact, what I'm really trying to do right now is get this done before I film. Oh, that means my oven is ready. I'm trying to really get this done before I film here in about an hour and a half. We'll see. Let's see, how much do I need in here? No, I think that's probably about enough. Yep, that's enough for him. Okay, let's add the rest of this in here. Well, I think if this doesn't turn out the way I have and expect or anticipated, I already know one thing that I may change. But I'm not going to tell you because we're going to wait till this is all done. Okay. Onto the peanut butter cookie batter. Okay, we are on to the peanut butter topping for all of this. We are going to take the half a cup, 8 ounces of butter, softened, room temperature. And sometimes I have found that my house is not really room temperature, that it really kind of has soft butter. So I sometimes just put it in the microwave for maybe 10 seconds, if that. Let's get my mixer over here. My things in there. I washed it off. I'm doing the brownie part of it. Okay, let's cream the butter. We are going to add in the sugar. And I think, yeah. Cream it till it's a little nice and fluffy. Then we are going to add in the egg and then the peanut butter. I think that's it, right? I'm thinking I'm missing something. Okay, now we're gonna add in the peanut butter. Now you can use creamy or crunchy. I chose to use crunchy. I'm not putting any nuts in the brownie, and sometimes that's good, sometimes that's not, but I have both. But I don't know, I felt like crunchy peanut butter. And this type of peanut butter, I thought, yes, it has the nuts in it, but they're not so huge where it's annoying. Okay. Get that all out of there. Oops, I almost got the spoon stuck. Okay, we've got flour over here. I'm gonna add in my baking powder and then my salt. I'm gonna use this fork to kind of incorporate that all in there. And the baking powder will make the peanut butter cookie a little bit more fluffy because we kind of have a dense brownie. So it'll be like 2 different layers, but they'll kind of mesh together. And when you bite into it, maybe you'll think of it as, you know, a peanut butter cup or something like that. But I hope this is good. So let's see here. Okay, I am going to use this fork because I don't want to overdo the batter. I'm just gonna dump that in there. Now, if I had it on my real mixer, I'd probably add in the flour a little bit at a time. So we're just gonna kind of fold this. Till it's really mixed in with the peanut butter. Peanut butter, butter, sugar mixture. Peanut butter, butter. Oh man, I tell you, peanut butter to me is almost like garlic. I love garlic. If I can, I would add garlic to everything, besides sweet stuff. Okay. I think that's good enough. And then we're gonna try and spread this. Where's my thing? Okay, I gotta find another rubber spatula. Okay, here we go. We'll add this right here. And if you wanted, you could sprinkle this with chocolate chips. I'm choosing not to because I just think there's enough chocolate here that I don't need chocolate chips. And if I did do it, I would do like shavings, chocolate shavings on here. That way you just don't have little dots, but it'll kind of like little swirls because it'll all melt. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna put this in the oven for about 20 minutes, check it. And one way to check it, because obviously if you want it chewy and gooey and fudgy and all that other stuff, if you stick a toothpick in here, it'll come out wet. It depends on how wet. So stick it in the oven at 353. I'm gonna start off at 375 because I think my temperature oven, 375 is a little more like 350, the temperature. And so, but I'm gonna check it at 20 minutes. And if it shakes a little bit, if it shakes too much, when you wiggle the pan, that means the center is runny, it's gooey. So just stick it back in the oven, maybe for about 5 minutes. And if it just shakes a little bit, when you set it out, it'll finish cooking inside, but you'll still get that soft, chewy brownie feel with the chocolate, with the peanut butter cookie topping. So let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. So I have it at 375 for 20 minutes. If you have it at 350, still check it at 20 minutes as well. And I am going to put my handy dandy timer on. And I'm going to clean up this mess. So I'll see you back here in about 20-25 minutes. Okay, so I took out the chocolate fudge brownie with peanut butter cookie. And this is what it came. This is what it looks like. Anyway, oh my gosh. I'm hoping it tastes good too, and it's not too cakey or dried out. And here's the little one that I made for Chris, just the chocolate one. Because he says he likes brownies, he just doesn't like chocolate cake. So I think it's kind of like a texture thing. But anyway, let's cut out a piece. I forgot to get a knife. Let me see. What do I want to use? I'm gonna see if this thing works because I don't really want to scratch up my pan too much. Oh, you know what? I think I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna use this one. Maybe this one will be gentler. They're still a little warm. And it is like a peanut butter crumble on top. Depending on how these taste, because when you eat a brownie from the edge, I think those have a tendency to be just a tad drier than the ones in the middle, because the heat gets to it quicker and then it works its way in, so we'll see. Okay. Oh yeah, look at that. Do you see that? So far it looks good. Oh, I like the layer of peanut butter cookie and the chocolate brownie. Oh, come on. I think this is going to taste like a peanut butter cup. Oh, yeah. This is definitely good. Okay, I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven right now. And then when you bite into it and you hit one of the chocolate pieces that we added to the brownie mix, that's even better. So hopefully, because this was a much smaller pan, baking dish, hopefully these brownies came out okay for Chris as well. So anyway, this recipe, along with all the other recipes, are at amyroloffslittlekitchen.com, or go to my YouTube channel, amyroloffslittlekitchen.com, or Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen on YouTube. Follow me on social media too. I would really appreciate that. But give this a try. Let me know what you think. If you got any other ideas about brownies and things that you love making, let me know, because I'd certainly love to give it a try. Anyway, these are good. Chocolate fudge brownie with peanut butter cookie. Oh, love it. Thanks for joining me. So from my kitchen to yours, have fun. So what do you think?
Delicious. Very moist. Excellent. Good job.
Well, I made it just for you because I know you don't like peanut butter.
Yeah. I mean, that looks real pretty, but I like this better.
Well, this is your own little brownie thing. The other one I have to give away to somebody because I can't eat all that.
No, that'll last me a week. Oh.
Okay, I'm glad you like it, babe.
Thank you, hon.
Woohoo!